kissed by a rose on the grave.
Anyway, we knew England had that seal, thanks to our Patreon.
Yeah.
But we did not know it had these seals.
My mind is honestly blown, guys. I had no idea you guys had seals. Now, it makes sense, you know, I guess because you guys are an island, but it's just something I never realized.
I never considered it. Yeah. We've talked about, is it seagulls?
Seagulls,
Pelicans, whatever they are.
Yeah.
On here, dive bombing people's food.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Are seals a problem?
Yeah, we saw a couple articles about that.
Yeah. Like news headlines.
Supposedly that's a big deal where seagulls go and they like dive bomb
But
people's
we haven't seen any news headlines about seals. So.
And this is going to be interesting, not only because we're learning you guys have seals, but because supposedly these pups have found a home on a disused military site. And so,
sweet.
Yeah.
Does that one have moss on it?
I have no idea. I don't know.
It's like greenish yellow.
Seals are one of those animals that I find just very fascinating because I've never had any experience with them at all.
Neither. Yeah, I've never seen them in real life.
I think the reason this is mind-blowing to me because in my head, when I think about seals, I think of like the Arctic or something.
Yeah, same.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
really, really cold.
Obviously, I guess that's not the case.
But the water around England is very cold, so...
I wonder which side is colder. Is it probably over on the side with the North Sea?
Which would be which side?
Well, that would be the east.
Oh, okay, the east. Of course, the North Sea is in the east. Yeah. How did I not know?
Yeah, and then you got the Atlantic on the west. Yeah, guys. If you can't tell, my voice is still not fully back. I keep on losing it here and there.
Because he won't stop talking.
Yeah, I never stop talking. I got to stop talking. But guys, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and check out these gray seal pups who found a home on a disused military site.
Today, I'm off to Orford Ness in Suffolk. Which is quite a journey from here in the centre of Bristol. But it's hopefully going to be so worth it as I'm going to be visiting a very special seal colony of grey seals. And I've been told there are pups.
Wonder how they get around.
I'm really looking forward to finding out more about the seal colony and why it's thriving. But I'll also be finding out about how this year's unpredictable weather has affected wildlife across the country.
I'll be meeting Joe Dyson from the National Trust, who's planning on showing me this terrific natural landscape.
Ooh, we get to see the landscape too.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt. Good to see you. Great to see you. After you.
Great filming.
Yeah.
Matt, ever since I heard that Orford Ness had seals, I've been wanting to come here. Compared to lots of other National Trust sites, would you say that this is one of the more remote and challenging to get to?
Oh.
So yeah, we are open to visitors between April and October. But the only way to come across is on Octavia, our ferry.
Why is it only April to October time?
Part of the reason for that is about the wildlife protection of the site and allowing the wildlife on site to thrive.
So Matt, as well as the wildlife, I have heard that Orford Ness is steeped in military history.
Yes, so for most of the 20th century, this was a top secret Ministry of Defence research site. Everything from early aviation and aircraft warfare through to radar, and then during the Cold War, atomic weapons research as well.
As a lover of the natural world, I'm keen to learn about all kinds of wildlife, whether it's wildlife on our own doorstep or in far-flung places. This is where the seal colony has chosen to live, so that's where I have to go.
Yeah,
it's just flooded out.
Submerged.
Wow, look at this.
So desolate.
Wait.
It's pebbles, right?
Oh my goodness.
At first I thought it was mud and just no grass.
So does this area just flood from the ocean?
It looks like it's underwater a lot.
Yeah. That would be interesting
but
because...
then there's those buildings.
Right. So, but all this around it looks like it's underwater at times.
I know.
Wow.
They look soft.
They do look very soft.
Like velvety.
Yeah. Would you want one as a pet?
Look, they do have like moss on them. Look at it.
Oh, look at them. I've literally never seen these. I think it is. It looks a little smaller.
Their holy hands are like playing.
So Matt, why here of all places? Why have
you got algae all over them?
Looks like
So Orford Ness is 10 miles long and about a mile wide at its widest point. So for their purposes.
So 10 miles long and a mile wide, that's it?
Yeah, and so this is an island of some sort, right?
We are an enormous beach and an enormous safe haven for them as well.
And when did you first spot a seal here? And was it you?
No, it wasn't me. It was one of the ranger team on site. This time of year, winter 2021, post one of the winter storms.
Oh, so recently.
One of the team was out doing a normal routine inspection, checking for any wind-blown rubbish and might have washed up. Came over onto the beach and there were 200 seals on.
Wow.
So you hadn't seen any seals and then just suddenly there were 200. And presumably this means that the colony is growing.
So we're in the 4th year of having the grey seals on site and the 4th year of pups being born on Orford Ness. So what we're now seeing is that the females become fertile between the ages of 3 and 5. So we're seeing pups that were born here now having their own pups.
Wow. That's cool.
So that first year that they arrived, we had 25 pups. The second year, 66. Last year was 133.
Holy!
This year we're expecting well over 200.
200
oh my
babies?
goodness. Or are they talking about the seals altogether?
No, seal pups.
200 seal pups?
Yeah.
And it started with just like
20, I think.
Yeah, wow. That's like, man, imagine what it'll be like in 10 years if this continues.
Gosh,
You're going to have, they're going to be like
seals.
Thousands everywhere.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. So like, I don't know much of anything about seals. And I'm curious, do they just leave for part of the year and then come back and they hang out here for a period of time, maybe
or
the
do they
winter?
always stay here?
Yeah,
or is like,
I'm not really sure.
I don't know. They migrate or something. But I wonder what like sparked them to come here when it was so recent.
Yeah, that is interesting.
They needed a new home and they're just like, hey guys, word got out. Yeah. I found a really cool spot over
it's
here.
It's a disused military base. No one's there. We can be all alone.
Come on, everyone.
Yeah, doubling almost every year. So other National Trust sites have seal colonies as well. We've got Blakeney up on the north coast of the coast. And actually, we think the seals that came here originally probably are a breakaway from one of those colonies.
A breakaway?
A breakaway colony?
Diffractors?
Yes, absolutely. We work with other partners nationally who monitor grey seal colonies. And we've got data from GPS telemetry from seals that have arrived at Orford Ness showing where they've been.
Wow.
And they go all the way up to Norfolk, into Lincolnshire.
They're not tagged, right? Are they tagged?
I don't know how they're tracking
Yeah,
them.
if they're not tagged, how are they tracking them?
They might have some tagged.
Wow. That's wild. And so it sounds like seals are much more popular in the UK than I thought.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
So I just thought this was like a new...
Just a one-off.
Right,
They
right.
randomly found their way
I had no idea. All right.
The Farne Islands and all the way across the Channel as well. So they travel huge distances to feed and forage.
So Matt, they look pretty peaceful out on the shingle bank, but what sort of threats are facing the seal colony at the moment?
This is a really exposed site, so obviously the weather is a big factor for them. Just from the winter storms we've had already, we've seen changes in the behaviour of the seals on the beach. They've moved much further inland. But the advantage for them here is as well.
Look at that.
This is a really dynamic coastline, but there's still space for these seals. So when National Trust took over Orford Ness back in 1990, there was 40 to 50 metres worth of shingle in front of the lighthouse. And then in 2020 it had to be deconstructed because of the coastal erosion. So that amount of shingle has disappeared in just 30 years. And what we're seeing elsewhere in terms of climate change is this year in particular our pups came earlier, about 10 to 14 days earlier than they did in previous years. And that's true of colonies elsewhere around the UK as well.
I suppose that's really showing how the weather really can impact the wildlife here. And I think, Leanna, you're going to chat to Ben, the National Trust's head of nature conservation, to find out more about this.
Yes, yeah.
And I think Matt and I, shall we go and get a cup of tea?
It's lovely chatting to you, and I'm going to head off.
See you later.
Hiya, Ben.
Hey, Leanna.
Hey, lovely to meet you.
Welcome to Orford Ness.
So why are the seals doing so great here?
Well, overall they're doing well, kind of nationally, but here we think it's because they're very undisturbed, and it's also an indication of the health of the seas, that there's fish in the sea for them to feed on. So that's a really good sign and an indication of the success of all of our marine conservation work.
Have there been similar success stories for other species this year?
It's been a tough year, I think, for our wildlife generally, partly because of the weather, which has been quite challenging. This year's weather has kind of been bookended by big storms, which brought devastating impact to people as well as the wildlife. And all of this is having some impact on the wildlife. Insects are a really good example where the wet weather over the summer has impacted things like butterflies, which numbers have been down.
I'm just wondering what the knock-on effects are of these kind of declines.
Butterflies and moths are important pollinators, for example. So when the butterflies are down, we can expect less pollination occurring, but also less food for the things that feed on butterflies and moths, be that birds or bats.
So that's definitely some of the bad news this year. But aside from the seals, are there any other good news? I love the one covered in algae.
Yeah, for sure. The work we've been doing in our peatlands, for example, in the uplands, has seen water levels increasing with the wet weather. And the peatland and our restoration work means that they're great at holding back the water and them acting as giant sponges, so absorbing the rainwater and reducing the flood risk downstream.
Nice.
And peatlands, of course, are our most important carbon stocks in the country, which is vitally important as part of our mitigation for climate change.
Talking of carbon capture, how have trees and woodlands in particular done this year?
The weather this year has been really good for getting the trees off to a healthy start. So we've been planting thousands of hectares of new woodland across our estate in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, and creating good, healthy woodlands for the future. We're increasingly working in urban spaces, recognising the importance of wildlife to people. So we've seen trees being planted in places like Birmingham off the back of our Blossom campaign.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, Ben.
My pleasure.
It's been so nice.
I'm a tree fan.
Yeah,
I love the fact. Anytime people are planting trees, it makes me happy.
I'm going to go now and take Joe back to Bristol.
Safe journey home.
Thank you. Bye. Take care now.
Leanna has invited me to Bristol to visit a wildlife pond not far from where she lives. It's a place created by the local community and a really good example of where nature has been allowed to flourish in a really urban area.
Leanna, how did you find this pond?
Well, my friends actually introduced me to it when I moved to Bristol a year ago, and I've been visiting ever since.
And why is it so special to you?
Moving to the city, I felt a real disconnect
from nature.
And it's been lovely having this spot to come through and visit and reconnect to nature. Plus, it makes a good hangover spot after a night out with my friends.
Breathe in the fresh air.
Literally.
I can see why you love coming here. You know, the view of Bristol Cathedral in the background, and then there's so much birdsong going on around us.
Yeah. There's actually a robin that visits here regularly. You can hear it right now, actually. And there's insects, little small kind of invertebrates that swim under the water too. You'll notice that the plants have died back and it's looking a little bare right now, but that's because it's winter. I've been visiting it as the seasons change. And in summer there are dragonflies, butterflies, so many insects and so many more birds. And it's just a wonderful spot, really.
I'm just thinking, we've gone from one waterscape to another, from seals at Orford Ness by the coast, and now to a much smaller water space.
Watch a seal's going to come out the corner.
It's just another example of how wildlife will thrive if you give it the space to.
Have you ever been to Lee Woods?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never actually been.
Because it's this beautiful woodland on the edge of Bristol city centre, and it's looked after by the National Trust, so I'd love to show you.
I would love to, yes please.
OK, come on then.
Lee Woods.
Oh!
What was that bridge?
I have no idea. That was pretty, though.
It's so pretty, so nice. I think some people tend to associate the National Trust with old historic buildings.
Yeah, that's what I always
thought. This experience has really shown that the Trust cares for nature and wildlife too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as Europe's largest conservation charity, yes, the National Trust looks after houses, but also coastline, countryside.
Yeah, and thank you so much for taking me to the coastline. Orford Ness was honestly wonderful, so good.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, I've loved coming to Bristol, so thank you so much.
No, it's been great.
that was interesting, guys.
Yeah.
First, I had no idea, obviously, that you guys had seals.
Yeah.
My mind is still blown by this, and it sounds like there are seals all over the place on the coastline.
And also, what she just said, I didn't realize the National Trust was more than like castles and buildings.
No, I didn't either. That is another thing. Like, I always assumed...
But it makes sense. I mean...
I had assumed that the National Trust was literally like, they took care of castles.
Structures and buildings.
Yeah, that's all I knew about them. But supposedly they actually take care of so many conservation things. The largest conservation, is that what she said?
Organization in Europe.
In Europe?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have never guessed that.
Me either.
You know, I literally thought they were basically fixing up a bunch of old castles and stuff like that. But had no idea they did things with nature and wildlife.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we have a lot to learn about the National Trust because this is like... I think this might be the first time I've actually learned anything specifically about the National Trust.
True. Now, I know in previous videos, like when we've looked at certain castles that were part of the National Trust, we've gotten the tip in comments that when we come over, we should buy a membership or whatever it is, a pass to go to the different National Trust sites. It saves you a lot of money.
I wonder if that pass is sort of similar to how, like, if you come to the U.S. or if you're in the U.S. already,
like National Park
Pass, where you can go to all the national parks for like one low fee. I wonder if that's the same type of thing. Lower, yeah. I wonder if that's the same thing. I wonder if like you get the National Trust Pass and then like you can just go to a bunch of different,
like unlimited access kind of.
Yeah, all over the country to these different locations and whatnot. But it sounds to me like there is so much more that you could explore with the National Trust than simply buildings now. Obviously, there's going to be locations that are part of the National Trust that you might be able to go visit that are very special, like nature locations. I don't really know. I couldn't really grasp. It seems like, because I think this is like a National Trust location, right?
The Orford Ness. Yeah, I think it is.
So that tells me there are probably numerous... really special nature areas that are part of the National Trust that you would probably need to get a National Trust pass of some sort to actually go visit. That's something I'm glad we know of now because it's something I would have not known of before.
Yeah.
But guys, this was interesting. You guys have seals. Who knew? Let us know in the comments, guys, what kind of experience do you have with seals? You know, again, this is something very new to me. I don't know anything about seals, really. I have no experience other than I've seen them a little bit here or there in like a magazine or whatever. But I always associated them with like the Arctic. I just would have never associated them with like, you know, more moderate climates and stuff like that.
But I think they tend, like he was saying, to stick to places where humans aren't for the most part. So
maybe that's why the Arctic has a lot less human like intervention, and so maybe that's why I associate it with. Am I thinking of seals when I'm thinking of the Arctic? Is that
or
the animal?
Sea lion? What's
there are sea lions? Yeah, sea lions.
Sea lions, don't they have the tusks? Or is that a walrus?
Oh, see, there you go again. I'm confused on the differences between those three. I forgot about walrus as well. There's probably some others I'm not even thinking of. But these things are cute.
They are cute.
I bet they, well, at least they seem like they look soft.
They probably can get pretty aggressive, though.
Just like a walrus and a sea lion,
encroach in their space.
You know, I'd love to see them like
running.
Yeah, running, travel long distance.
I don't think it's running. I think it's more like whatever you call that.
Anyways, guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.
Bye.